I've never, leveled a portion of Tokyo and murdered 60,000 people. So it's like, all right, how am I going to feel the weight of what he's feeling in that moment?
This is Adam McArthur, and he has voiced many characters across animation, video games, and anime. Some of his most iconic roles include Marco Diaz in Star vs. the Forces of Evil, and Yuji Itadori in Jujutsu Kaisen. And with the cinematic release of Jujutsu Kaisen Execution right around the corner, and Season 3's Culling Game arc on the horizon, I got to speak with Adam about Yuji's voice and how it's evolved. We also discuss what it's like for him on the convention circuit, how he's able to create so much and still find balance through it all. This is Behind the Mic with Adam McArthur.
Adam, you're a voiceover and anime star, an actor, a content creator, an entrepreneur, and also a part-time ninja. How did you get such a varied skill set?
Oh, man. I think I've just always really liked a lot of things and then just gone and done them. Martial arts is something that I've wanted to do ever since I was a kid. And so I started doing it. I mean, I started when I was 11. And so that's where that comes from. It's the only thing in my life I haven't monetized or like made a job, as they would say. So it's the thing that makes me feel the most like myself. So I like to train and practice and stuff like that amongst the busyness of my schedule these days, all the convention travel, all the session, like recording sessions and things like that. I block off time to make sure that I'm in class and kicking and punching because, it just makes me feel like home in a way. So. Yeah, but I don't know. I just like to do a lot of things. I like to drive my car in the track. I like to do kickboxing. I like to do all the VO stuff. There's just a million things. Yeah, I like having fun.
So you've had a really cool arc going from projects like Star vs. the Forces of Evil all the way to Jujutsu Kaisen. What would younger Adam say, seeing you as the voice of one of the biggest anime stars in the world?
Dude, I honestly think younger Adam would be like, yeah, I told you. I don't know, like even to this day, I mean, trust me, I know how lucky I am. There was a moment after Star vs. the Forces of Evil ended where I was like, that could be it, man. Like that, talking to myself, that could be it. You were the lead on a series. Some people have that and then they never experience what that feels like again. And so I'm very thankful. I'm very thankful for what I have done. I'm very thankful for what I have, what I've had. For me growing up, it was never like, I relentlessly believe in myself. And not in any kind of like, I'm better than anyone or whatever. I just know that it's the martial artist in me. It's the war of attrition. I will outlast you. If being in LA is hard, and in order to be doing what I'm doing or to get these jobs, you have to be in LA for as long as possible, I will be here longer than anyone else. That was just always my mentality. I never glorified people in Hollywood or in my position who were working on things. So in a weird way, it's not like, oh, I always knew I'd be a star. It wasn't even about that. It was just like, I know I can do this. Like, I know I will work. I know I can work,
You've done other roles besides Jujutsu Kaisen. You also done Tokyo Revengers, Bungo Stray Dogs, Prince of Tennis, My Hero Academia even. Were you into anime before you found any of these roles?
I was in the anime club in high school, but I don't even remember going, if I'm being 100% honest. I think it was just another opportunity to hang out with my buddies. I really kind of dug into anime in 2019 after Star vs. Or maybe it was a little earlier than that. It was maybe like 2016, 2017. And it was with My Hero Academia. I had a friend who was like, you have to watch this. You kind of got to know, like, in the industry, you got to know what jobs are available to you and what the media you're working in has to offer. And so someone told me to watch My Hero Academia. And that show was just so fun. And I was like, oh, this is interesting. And then when Star ended in 2019, I was kind of just like, I wonder why I never auditioned for anime. That's so weird. So I took that info to my agent. he ended up getting me some auditions, and my second anime audition ever was for Jujutsu Kaisen. So crazy.
Wow, that is crazy. Because Jujutsu Kaisen broke records, not in like a figurative sense. It actually broke records with the Guinness Book of World Records as well.
Twice.
Yeah, twice, exactly. So, and I would say the fandom behind it has given such momentum, and mainly because Yuji is such an emotionally layered character, as well as delivering such a great story. He's funny 1 second, really, and then he's heartbroken the next, and that's very obvious with how season 2 ended.
Yeah.
How do you get yourself into that emotional swing when you're recording for Yuji?
Oh man, it's tough. Yuji he's very demanding for me. But what I love about that is, I mean, it's an actor's dream. You know, I get to do it all. He's definitely not a one-note character. There's so much depth to him. It's an actor's job to meet a character where they're at, and then make it mean something to you. So obviously, like in season 2, for example, I've never, leveled a portion of Tokyo and murdered 60,000 people. So it's like, all right, how am I going to get how am I going to feel the weight of what he's feeling in that moment? Well, we all have our things, right? What is Yuji feeling in that moment? He's feeling immense guilt for what Sukuna has done. So it's my job to think about the times in my life where I have felt guilty. We've all felt guilty. And then sort of parallel that. It's like, oh, okay, this is what he's feeling. And then I just meet him where he's at. And then let that work speak for itself. And but my goal for all of Shibuya and all of that heavy stuff Yuji did was to make sure that it felt as real as possible to me, so that then it would translate to the audience and they would hopefully feel the same way.
Yeah. And I would say they definitely did, because, again, it's one of the most popular animes in history. And so also, because speaking with your martial arts background, did that actually make voicing Yuji a little easier when it came to maybe voicing during fight scenes?
Yeah, I mean, look, I know what it's like to be punched. I mean, they're all heightened, right? So it's like slightly different, but, maybe like identifying some of the moves that he's doing and knowing like, oh no, he's getting punched in the stomach there. He's not getting punched in the face. It's not going to sound as light. It's going to sound more guttural, because when you get punched in the stomach, if you've ever been really kicked to the body or punched to the body, you make sounds you didn't know you were capable of. So it's fun to sort of just like, draw on that and stuff. So in that sense, yeah, I would say it helps a little bit.
Yeah. And then on the flip side, you got another character like Marco Diaz, who's light, he's got playful energy. Do you ever miss that kind of vibe with voice roles as compared to what you're doing now with Yuji?
Yeah, I would say so. I mean, I'm working on other projects, some of the things some of which I can't speak about, but there are some other moments of levity that I get throughout my work week. But definitely, that sort of like cartoon. I mean, also from a technical standpoint, not dubbing on something and doing something that's prelay where they're taking my voice and animating to that gives me a lot more freedom. So in that sense, that kind of play is also, I kind of miss that regularly, like as regularly as when I had it with Star. But hopefully we'll get some more Star at some point.
Yeah, that would be nice, because I did kind of start tuning in like after it like came out. I didn't watch it as it was coming out. I was around 14 when it started, and then by the time I'd heard about it, I was already starting college, and I was thinking, maybe later on I'll watch that. And then another role that you actually voiced was Princely Char in the Clone Wars, which was my favorite childhood show growing up.
Nice.
But that was another instance of just finding out who voiced it after you've seen the character plenty of times.
Yeah.
But you've also got a pretty strong improv background. How does that play into your voice work? Like, do you ever go off script when you think something feels just right to say?
Oh, yeah, definitely. Often. It's a little bit harder in anime just because the animation is already set. But there's definitely times where we are rewriting on the fly, or I'll say it and I'll be like, can I tweak it like this to make it sound either A, more like it does in the manga, like more true to the, more faithful to the source material, or sometimes, the localization of these things is, it's done so quickly that either A, we want to tweak it, B, it doesn't sound natural coming out, or they'll choose a group of words. I said something in a session yesterday. What was it? It was like a combination of 3 words, and I was like, there's no way for me to get to this word to the next word without it being like kind of fumbly. So, we tweak stuff like that all the time. Somehow, someone posted a video insinuating that like they were the person who rewrites things in sessions, and it was like praised by the audience as if like that's not something that happens normally every day in our sessions. That is a very common thing that happens. Yeah,
it's like, oh, this person saved the anime, and they're a dime a dozen. No, it happens all the time. We deal with it happens
all the time.
Yeah, so
it's a very collaborative process. Dubbing, and the production schedule is so fast that everyone has to work together, which is also why it's good when you say things like that, to make sure you're not throwing writers, directors under the bus. You gotta remember you're all in it together.
Yeah. So fans really connect with the performances that you have given over the years. Is there a fan story or message that really hit you and reminded you why you do what you do?
Dude, I am living a very charmed life. I think at the end of this year, I will have done like 37 conventions or something throughout the year.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm constantly on the road traveling, which means I'm constantly talking to people who are so sweet and kind to come spend their hard-earned money at my table. Their time is my most precious commodity these days. I have so little of it for myself that I don't take it lightly that people come and spend their time with me at conventions and want to talk and things like that. It is very hard to pick out one story, because weekly I am talking to so many amazing people who are constantly reminding me that the work that I've done means something to them, and it will never not mean so much to me, and it will never not be so special that I get that opportunity. So
that was a brilliant answer. The conventions really are the stories that really remind you, like all these loyal fans, all these people who pay to come and see you, and even if it's just for a brief interaction, it really does change their lives.
Dude, like I said, it's incredible, and it's not lost on me how lucky I am. I mean, the way I look at all of this is, I've had people say like, no one else could be Yuji. It's you. You're so much like him in real life, and and I thank you for saying that. I would like to think that also, but the truth is, you could have cast 10 other people as Yuji, and if you had heard that person from the beginning, that's who you would think your Yuji is. You know what I mean? I'm not knocking my hard work, and I'm not knocking my talent to get me to these places and in these roles. However, I do feel like there's an element of, when it's what's for you will be for you. When it's your time, that's your thing, and I do think that's, call it blessed, call it luck. I call it all of those things. So just grateful that it is me this time.
Yeah. So you're also pretty active online, especially with TikTok and Instagram. Do you see social media as a part of maybe your creative outlet, or is it more of a fun hobby for you?
Dude, it's not really a fun hobby because I have so many of those already. But I am having a lot of fun doing it. I would say it's a strategic business decision if I'm boiling it down. However, I find business very fun, and it is a very fun type of business. It supports what I'm doing. There's a lot of studios these days want content creators and influencers in their projects. A lot of them don't have any formal acting training, and I think that's reflecting in some of the decisions that these studios are making. So essentially, I'm trying to make it as easy as possible when it's between me and someone else, and casting has to decide who it's going to be, that when they go and they check your Instagram and your TikTok and all that, and they see how many followers you have, they say, oh, well, this makes sense because he's also an actor and he's in all these other great things too, you know? So it's a little bit strategic for me. But within that, you know, like posting content could be anything. I could be doing anything. You know, you have to find what works for you and what is sustainable. And thankfully, I have a great group of cast members in a lot of the shows that I work on, and they'll just do whatever I ask them for videos. and the stuff that I'm posting now, all the comedy stuff, all the funny, fun stuff with them, are things that I was doing before I decided to film them. It's just now I'm posting it online and sharing it with the fans. So
yeah, I'm definitely one of those fans. I've seen lots of your convention TikToks, like with KG Tang and stuff like that.
Yeah, I appreciate that, dude. Thanks for watching.
What is probably the weirdest or most random line you've ever had to record in a booth?
In season 1 of Star versus the Forces of Evil, Marco is in season 1, episode 1 of Star versus the Forces of Evil. Marco is being driven insane by Star, who has just come to Earth, and he's finding out, oh great, now she's gonna live with my family, all this stuff. So he's getting driven insane. He's standing in front of a convenience store with a singular cloud raining on him, and his nemesis is wet socks. So he hates wet socks, and he's soaked right there. So he's having a mental breakdown, and some random customer walks out of the stop and slurp, I think is what they called it.
Yeah.
So they walk out of the stop and slurp, and he screams at them, "You come to my house, you bring toilet paper." And I just thought, what a line, you know. It means nothing to the actual series, but I did clip that and post it in 2020 when everyone was fist fighting for toilet paper during COVID.
Oh yeah.
I was like, wow, Marco Diaz ahead of his time, you know.
yeah, he predicted it.
He did.
Because you voiced quite a few characters and you've had a lot of people praise you for the work you've put into voicing these characters, who's the one character you'd actually want to hang out with, and who's absolutely getting on your nerves halfway through?
I would love to hang out with Marco. I think that would be super fun. I would also like to hang out with Yuji, but you said one, but I'll save two.
Yeah.
You can't tell me what to do. And then one character that would absolutely get on my nerves. I played a guy named Prince Kyle Salutania, I think was his name, from an anime, an isekai called The Saint's Magic Power is Omnipotent. And this guy was just like a total jerk. He had a little bit of a redeeming thing later on, but total jerk. That guy, wouldn't want to hang out with him. I'd slap him silly in like 10 minutes.
Yeah, we all have someone who fits that role.
Yeah. Oh, actually, sorry. I have a better example. You know who I would not want to hang out with? Troy Simpkin, the character that I voice in WWE 2K24 and 2K25.
Oh.
That he's like a schmarmy manager agent guy. That guy sucks. That guy sucks so much that when I announced I was voicing him, I apologized. I was like, guys, I'm so sorry. This guy sucks.
Would you say it was like the direction, like maybe just to like say, oh, like kind of like try and play like what you would say is like a stereotype of like what people think of as an agent? Oh,
dude, the worst. Like schmarmy, out for himself, throwing people under the bus, lying, and he just had this voice that was sort of grating. This is kind of what he sounded like, and it was like, oh, yeah, he sucks.
Yep. All right, so we have prepared 5 quick fire questions. So basically, what you need to do is I'll ask the question, and then you say the first thing that comes to your mind.
Okay, hopefully the first thing that comes to my mind is an answer to the question.
All right, so first one. If you could voice a scene with any actor in the world, who would it be?
Tom Holland.
What is your studio snack of choice?
Last night in a session, I had pop chips. Okay. But sorry, but really ranch veggie straws. Okay, go ahead.
What's the strangest piece of direction a director has given you?
Man, I'm thinking of everything all at once. Do it again, but better.
I can't believe that's actually something someone would say.
It is. It's usually a joke at this point, thankfully.
What is a voice acting pet peeve of yours?
People who go to conventions, who choose to go to conventions, and then complain about how tired they are all the time.
All right, and then finally, if your mic could talk, what would it say about you after a long session?
You need to stop turning your auditions in late.
Oh, man. Oh, Adam, thank you so much for joining us. This has been an absolute pleasure.
Dude, thank you.
It was wonderful talking to you.
Yeah, likewise. Thanks for having me, dude. You're awesome. I appreciate it very much.
Thanks for tuning into this episode of Behind the Mic. If you enjoyed the conversation and you want to hear more from the voices behind your favorite characters, then be sure to follow us on Spotify and subscribe to us on YouTube. And don't forget to check out our other interviews as well as voiceover tips and industry news at Voquent.com or on our social media. See you next time.